For the first time in over a decade, the formula used to allot money to public schools across the state is being fully funded.
And as Zach Merchant tells us, public schools are looking forward to additional funding.
Houston County schools could see close to $3 million in new state funding next year. But it's money they were, at least theoretically, supposed to have had for a long time.
It was certainly nice to see at the end of the session that money was restored.
The state allots money to public schools using a formula that's part of a program known as Quality Basic Education, or QBE. Houston County School District Superintendent Mark Scott says austerity measures imposed in 2002 reduced the program's funding, and further cuts came during the Great Recession. That meant schools had to cut costs and, in some cases, let teachers go.
One of the most difficult times in my career was sitting across the desk from people that were losing their jobs.
But over the past several years, QBE funding has been steadily increasing, and at the latest session, Georgia state legislators passed a budget that fully funded QBE.
It's a budget State Representative Heath Clark says he was proud to vote for.
So we're always talking about funding, and education's always the highest item in the budget. But this year we had the money to get it done.
The very first thing is
Scott says Houston County schools could receive nearly $3 million from that new state budget. It's a small percentage of the more than $300 million school system budget, but he says the money could help with anything from teacher retirement plan funding to defraying the cost of updated textbooks.
On a year that we don't purchase textbooks and instructional supplies, we end up spending $700,000 to $800,000, almost $1 million, just on maintaining what we have.
The school system's budget won't be finalized for several months, but no matter how the money is ultimately used, Scott says it's a welcome addition to the budget. In Houston County, Zach Merchant, 13 WMAZ, Eyewitness News.
State Representative Heath Clark says all districts across the state should see more state dollars because of the fully funded QBE. In Bibb County, school system spokesperson Stephanie Hartley says the district is looking forward to roughly $2.2 million in new funds.